Hey guys, welcome back to BLO'S Closet, or welcome to BLO'S Closet if this is the first time here. In today's video, I'll be sharing with us how I recreated this trendy Bubu dress with a shawl neckline. However, I made mine into a butterfly dress, but the neckline is basically going to be the same thing. So if you're interested in learning something like this or how I recreated this, go ahead and keep on watching, and let's head straight into this tutorial. For this project, I'll be using these 2 yards of fabric that I have left from a previous project that I made. I wanted my butterfly dress to be maxi, to be really long, but because I have only 2 yards, I don't have up to 4 yards, so I'm going to make do with the 2 yards of fabric that I have. So right here, I am going to open it up, and you can see I have 2 yards of fabric right here. This is 1 yard and the other is the second yard. So next thing I'm going to do is I'll be folding this fabric into two. Right now I have one yard each, so I'll fold it into two so that we can start working on this project. After folding your fabric, it should be in this manner. It should be in a manner where you have two folded edges right here, as you can see. So this will be my center front and my center back, because I am kind of going to be cutting the front and back together for now before I go ahead to separate it. And on this other side, I am going to have 4 pieces of fabric. Okay, 4 pieces. I hope this is clear enough for us to understand. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark my neck depth and my neck width. I'm going to be using a neck width of 3 inches and I'll be using a neck depth of 1 inch. Mind you, this measurement is for the back. After marking for the back, I'll go ahead and separate it and then mark out my neckline for the front. So now that I am done connecting this, the next thing I'm going to do is mark out my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I'm going to mark that down right there. And after that, I am going to determine how long I want my sleeve to be. So for my sleeve length, I'm just going to be using everything that I have left here. I would have loved it to be longer, but because I am managing 2 yards, I have no choice. Okay, so that's 9 inches. So now I am coming down by 1 inch from the top to create my shoulder slant, and I'm going to be slanting it all the way to make that my neck width, and I will use my scissors to cut it out. After cutting out my shoulder slant and my neckline, this is what I have. And for the length of this my dress, I'm just going to be using everything that I have here. Normally Ankara fabrics are by 45 inches, so I'll be using everything. Like I said earlier, I would have loved it to be longer, but because I am facing a fabric constraint, I do not have a choice at the moment. So right here, this is me separating the front from the back. Okay, so I kept one piece aside, and that one is the back. And I'll go ahead now and make alterations to the front neckline to get my desired neckline. So I am going to decide how deep, how long I want the design on the front to be, and for me, I am going to be marking 16.5 inches. You can make it as long as you want, but I'm going to be using 16.5 inches for mine. And from here, I am going to come in by 2 inches. Okay, feel free to adjust your measurements to suit your taste. So from that 2 inches mark, I am going to connect it all the way to the neck width that we marked out earlier. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be extending this line down by 1/2 inch, and I'm also going to be extending it on the side by 1/2 inch. And the next thing I'm going to do is just draw a slanted line like this. Okay, I just need you to watch carefully so that you understand. I came down by 1/2 inch, and I also went in by 1/2 inch on the side, and I just created a diagonal line. I hope I'm correct with that English. Okay, a kind of a notch like this, and this will be essential when we are sewing in our design. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cut everything out, and after cutting it out, this is what it looks like. I'm going to open it up so that you see what it looks like. Okay, I hope my explanation was clear. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section below. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead now and join the shoulder pieces together. Okay, this is me placing the front and the back shoulder together, and I'll stitch it down using 1/2 inch. I'm going to do the same thing for the other shoulder. However, before I stitch this down, I am going to fold my back piece together like this, determine the back neckline, the center of my back neckline, and I'll notch it. And this will be very useful when I want to fix my shawl collar piece onto this neckline. So this is what I have after stitching down my shoulder together, and the next thing I'm going to do is try to attach my shawl collar to the neckline. And in order to do this, I have to measure out the neckline and cut out fabric for that. So I'm going to start measuring the back neckline from that center notch that we made earlier. I have about 3.25 inches, and for the front neckline I have about 17 inches. So that is basically 20.25 inches, but I'm going to cut out something longer just to be on the safe side. So right here I've cut out the fabric that I'm going to be using for my shawl neckline and the design, and I have about 6.5 inches by 24 inches, and I have 2 pieces of this, and I have 2 pieces because each side is a different color. However, if you're using one color, you can just cut everything on fold. You can cut that 24 inches on fold so that you end up having 48 inches. I also added some light interfacing onto this on each of the pieces, and I'm going to be stitching this by 1/2 inch. All right, after stitching it down, I open pressed my seam line, and this is what I have. Another thing that I did is I folded the entire piece into 2 and I ironed it down, and the reason why I did this is so that I'll have that ghetto line, a center line, which will serve as a guide for me to follow when I am stitching. So now I am going to flip everything back to the wrong side, and we are going to make some stitches. But before we make that stitches, I am going to measure my neckline. Okay, from that center notch that I marked, I'm going to measure out my back neckline, and I have 3.25 inches. So I am going to be marking that 3.25 inches from the center. Okay, remember that seam line that we made, that will be our center now. So I'm going to mark that 3.25 inches. That is for the back neckline, and from there I am going to determine how deep I want my front neckline to be, and I'm using 9 inches. Make sure that whatever you're using is big enough for your head to go through it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start stitching from that 9 inches mark that I made all the way down on that center line. Okay, did you see what I did there? All right, so after making that stitch, I am going to turn everything inside out to the right side, and automatically this is what you are going to have. Feel free to iron it down to relax the seams. Now we are going to place this onto our neckline. I'm going to start pinning from the center. I'm going to pin the center to that center notch that we have on the back neckline, and I'll pin everything all around. So guys, my camera stopped recording while I was pinning this, but basically this is what I did. I started pinning from the center of the neckline. I pinned the center of the shawl piece to the center of the neckline, and I just pinned it all the way down to the end of this my notch that I have here, and I also basically pinned it also to this other end. I hope that is clear. It's really simple. Just pin it starting from the center all the way to that notch. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'll take this to the sewing machine, and I am going to start stitching from the very edge of this our notch that we have here. Okay, from the very edge, do not leave any space. From that very edge, we'll start stitching it all the way around till we get to the end of the other notch. Okay, make sure you start stitching it from the very tip, okay, so that your work will come out clean and nice by the time that you are done stitching it. So guys, after stitching it down, this is what I have. Okay, as you can see, I started my stitch from the very tip, from the very edge of that notch. You have to make sure you start stitching from the edge of that your notch and end at the very edge, so that your work will come out looking neat and you will not have any annoying twists and turns on your fabric. And basically this is what I have when I flipped it over to the wrong side. So now the next thing we are going to do is I'm going to tuck in this excess that I have. Can you see that? I'm going to go ahead and tuck it to the wrong side, and I'll lift this my fabric up like this. Okay, I'll lift it up, and this is what it looks like on the wrong side. So basically what I'll do now is I'll take this to the sewing machine and I'll stitch it from the very tip again. Okay, can you see that tip there? I'll stitch it from this tip to the end of the other tip, and everything should be secured in place, nice and clean. And this is what I have after stitching it down. Guys, I have not even ironed this, and it is already looking very nice and flat. There is no twist going on this my dress. I'd advise you to use a light interfacing on your shawl collar piece. Remember I told you that I used a paper stay. I used a strong paper stay and it came out looking funny, so I had to lose everything. In fact, this was not the only thing I had to lose. I ended up stitching the wrong side onto the right side. I don't know if you understand. The wrong side was now showing on the right side, and I had to loosen everything up again, and this was around 1 a.m. in the morning, but I'm happy that everything came out beautiful at the end of the day. So the next thing I'm going to do is shape this my butterfly dress. And now from the shoulder, I am going to be marking my armhole opening of 10 inches. You can make yours 9, 11, 12. Just use your discretion. And I'm going to be marking my shoulder to waist measurement, which is 16 inches. Now we're marking my shoulder to hips measurement, which is about 24 inches. And next thing, we are going to impute our horizontal measurements. Mind you, I folded this my fabric into two. I folded my dress into two so that I can get the center point. So I'm going to start taking my measurements from the center like this. So basically here I am going to be marking my bust measurement divided by 4 plus about 1.5 inches for ease allowance. Go ahead and make your butterfly dress as big as you want or as fitted as you want. I did the same thing for my shape. I divided by 4 and added my ease allowance of I think about 1.5 inches or 2 inches, I can't remember, and I did the same thing for my hips. Now I am going to be using my straight ruler and my curved ruler to connect this. Now for the hem of this my dress, I'm going to measure out everything I have on the hip, and I'll be adding extra 2 inches to that or 3 inches to that, and I'll mark it out and I'll connect this. The reason why I added the extra 2 to 3 inches is to have enough room to move my legs in case I want to climb a bike, or just easy mobility. And basically I am going to be repeating the exact same thing on this other side of my dress. Now I'll open this up and stitch it, but I won't get to the very end. From the hem of this my dress, I'll be marking 5 inches, and the reason for this 5 inches is for easy mobility, in case I need to climb a bike, in case I need to run, in case I need to fight. Don't mind me, I'm a very peaceful person, I don't fight. So I have gone ahead to stitch it, and of course I ended at that my 5-inch mark. And right here I have a very long strip of fabric that I am going to be using to finish off the raw edges on the sides of this my butterfly. You will need to cut a long strip of fabric that is long enough to go round your butterfly. So I'm going to be using this to finish off the raw edges on the sides of this my butterfly. So I have 2 different pieces. One is black and one is in burnt orange. Okay, and after that I'll go ahead and hem this my butterfly dress. And right here guys, this is what it looks like. I am done hemming my dress, and I also finished off the raw edges at the sides of this my butterfly. At this point I was heaving a sigh of relief because I went through a lot while I was making this simple dress. So I was just making mistakes up and down, sewing the right side on the wrong side, and praise the Lord, we are done. So if you notice, I stitched this black side onto the side that has the black around the neckline, and the burnt orange is also stitched on the side that has the burnt orange. I don't know if that makes sense. And this is it. I went ahead to hem my dress using a hemming gun because I'm too lazy to keep stitching. And this is it, guys. We have come to the end of today's tutorial. This is me rocking my dress and I am super excited. I love the outcome. I was thinking that a short butterfly dress would not look good on me, but I am happy with the outcome. So if you found this video helpful in any way, go ahead and give this video a like. Subscribe to this channel if you're not yet subscribed. Drop your questions and your suggestions in the comment section. Turn on your post notification bell so that you'll be updated whenever I post new videos. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.